The revolution had begun. With the commissioning of the CNS Nanchang, the lead ship of the Type 055 class, China had unleashed a dreadnought upon the world. They had created a cruiser so powerful, so advanced, that it single-handedly elevated the defensive capabilities of their entire navy. The problem of the vulnerable Chinese aircraft carrier, a sword without a strong enough shield, had been solved in theory. A single mighty warship now existed that could serve as the floating brain and fortress of the fleet. But a revolution of one is not a revolution at all. It is an experiment. A single ship, no matter how powerful, is a single point of failure. It is a prototype, a prestigious but ultimately fragile capability. For a nation with 2 oceans to patrol, 2 carrier strike groups to protect, and global ambitions to fulfill, a single supercruiser was a powerful statement, but it was not a credible fleet.
Can it replicate the success
the world's
of the
other
Nanchang?
naval powers, while shocked by the Nanchang's capabilities, could still dismiss it as a one-off silver bullet, a technological demonstrator too complex and expensive to ever be mass-produced. This was a crisis of scale.
It is no longer
Was the
just a
Nanchang a
prototype.
fluke? Could
It
China's
is a
shipbuilding
production
industry,
line.
for all its rapid growth,
A true
actually
dynasty.
replicate a warship of this immense complexity and power? The technological leap from their standard Type 052D destroyer to the Type 055 cruiser was immense. It involved mastering dual-band radars, integrated masts, and a hull of unprecedented size and stealth. Failure to build a second ship, and a third and a fourth would prove the skeptics right. It would mean that China's naval power had hit a technological ceiling. The pressure was immense. The United States Navy operates a fleet of over 20 Ticonderoga-class cruisers and nearly 70 Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers. A single Chinese dreadnought could not be everywhere at once.
A CGI
It could not
cutaway
protect the
animation
northern and
shows her
southern
integrated
fleets
mast
simultaneously.
with its powerful
Could not
dual-band
escort 2
radar
carrier
system.
strike groups at the same time. The revolution started by the Nanchang would be a hollow one if it could not be turned into a dynasty. The People's Liberation Army Navy didn't just need a prototype, it needed a production line. It needed to prove that the Dragon could not just forge one legendary sword, but could equip an entire army of them. The solution was not to rest on their laurels, but to double down on their success with breathtaking speed. It was to take the revolutionary template of the Nanchang and prove that it was not a handcrafted masterpiece, but a robust, replicable, and sustainable design. This was the second ship of Project 055, laid down even before the Nanchang had completed its sea trials. This vessel would be named for the historic capital of Tibet, the CNS Lhasa, hull number 102. The Lhasa was not an experiment. It was a statement of industrial mastery. She was a
The
direct
most profound
validation of the
proof.
entire program, while the Nanchang had been the trailblazer, enduring the inevitable delays and challenges of a first-in-class vessel. The Lhasa was built with the confidence and efficiency of a mature production process. Her construction was a clear and powerful signal that China had not just learned how to build a world-class cruiser, but how to do so quickly and in numbers. She was forged as a true peer to her older sister, a 12,000-ton Titan of the seas. She carried the same integrated mast with its powerful dual-band radar system. She was armed with the same colossal battery of 112 universal vertical launch system cells, capable of firing a devastating mix of air defense, anti-ship, and land attack cruise missiles. But she was more than just a copy. She was the ship that transformed the Type 055 from a single, experimental vessel into a true class of warship. She was the ship that proved the revolution was real. The proof of the Lhasa's success has been written in the sea lanes of the Pacific. While the Nanchang was the first, the Lhasa was arguably the ship that truly put the world on notice. She was commissioned and achieved full operational capability with stunning speed, a testament to the lessons learned from her predecessor. She did not remain in home waters for long. In a series of increasingly bold deployments, the Lhasa proved she was a frontline brawler. In mid-2022, she led her own powerful surface action group, including a Type 052D destroyer and a massive Type 901 replenishment ship, on a long-range voyage deep into the Sea of Japan and the Western Pacific. This was not a test. It was a powerful, deliberate patrol, a clear signal of the plan's growing confidence and its ability to project sustained, high-end naval power far from its own shores. The world's navies tracked her every move, but the most profound proof is the fleet that has followed in her wake. The successful, rapid construction of the Lhasa unlocked the floodgates. The Anshan, the Wuxi, the Dalian, the Yan'an. A formidable fleet of these dreadnoughts has been launched and commissioned with a speed that has no parallel in modern naval history. The Lhasa was the ship that proved the production line was hot, that the industrial base was ready, and that the Type 055 was not a dream but the new steel backbone of a superpower navy. The legacy of the CNS Lhasa is that she is the ship that turned a single, revolutionary prototype into a credible world-class fleet. While the Nanchang gets the glory of being the first, it was the Lhasa that proved the concept was not a fluke. She was the ship that proved the Chinese naval shipbuilding industry had truly arrived at the top tier. She is the silent professional, the second-born who validated the genius of the first. Her successful construction and deployments are the reason that today, the conversation is not about if China can build a world-class cruiser, but about how many more are coming. She is the ship that guaranteed that every Chinese carrier strike group, now and in the future, will have its own dreadnought, its own indispensable shield and brain. The CNS Lhasa is more than a cruiser. She is a symbol of a nation's industrial might and its unwavering strategic vision. She is the ship that turned a revolution into a dynasty, and in doing so, forever altered the balance of power in the world's oceans. While the Nanchang may have been the spark, the Lhasa was the confirmation of the fire. Share this video to explore the fascinating and strategically vital story of the CNS Lhasa, the ship that proved the dragon's dread.